Hey everyone, this is going to be the detailed breakdown of the Reading Tarot Sex Love Money Spreads. If you haven't already chosen a set or two sets or whatever, or three sets, whatever resonates, just take a moment and do that. So they've been split into three sets. We have the left, the middle, and the right. So pick whatever feels right to you. So I was kind of moved to do these. I think it's really because in the aftermath of this eclipse in Leo, this lunar eclipse in Leo, a few days ago, it's really kind of got things a bit topsy turvy. So again, if you're not familiar with these with the spread, the top. So we got the top row here, and this is going to be these will be the cards for sex, which is if that doesn't resonate with you, you can also consider it creation. So your ability to create. The middle, the row in the middle is going to be love, and the set in the middle is love for all three sets. And again, if that doesn't quite resonate, you could also consider attraction. But I think love should fit because regardless of whether or not it's loving yourself, loving another person, seeking love, or just trying to add a little bit more to your day to day life. I think love is something that matters, and it's something that we should all be more conscious of. And of course, the last set on the bottom, that's going to be money. You can think of it as money or the ability to manifest, to make things happen in the physical. So with that said, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about about how the climate's kind of changed since then. So like on the forefront, like overall, the love energy has kind of shifted into a more casual space. The focus is a bit lighter. There's a there's there's playful energy going into this weekend. And with that in mind, I would say, if anybody is, for people who have a tendency to be very rigid, um, very calculative, unforgiving, you really want to loosen up this weekend. I think that's really the gist of it. Because with these readings, love energy dominates over everything. So this just taking a lighter, more joyful approach as you go into the weekend, that's really going to pay off. Because it's the weekend. You should, be grateful it's the weekend. Have something, just take a little time to be grateful for something. Because that always comes back to reward you. But on the sex or the creation front, we have there's a lot of indecision, and that makes sense because of the eclipse. It's it really came along and it just stirred everything up. So if you're feeling uncertain about the space you're in, that's natural. It'll pass in time, but you have to you have to get out of your head, and you have to pay more attention to what's going on around you, and you have to connect more with where you're trying to go. And then so for the and then on the manifestation front, it's also money. There's It feels like this eclipse really liberated a lot of people in as it relates to money. A lot of people starting to. It feels like the reality has really set in for folks that there's more than one way to make your money, and that money is energy itself. It's inherently it's energy. So the place it comes from, whether it's a good place within you or a bad place, that matters, and that affects where you're going. That affects where your money will take you. So I feel like there's a lot of awakening there, and it feels like there's a lot of people starting to pull back from dated habits. So poor money habits, poor money making habits, poor spending habits. It feels like a lot of people are trying to decide whether or not they should quit their jobs. That's a feeling that's coming up very strongly. Like again, with this eclipse, perspectives are things have shifted, perspectives are changing, and people are. It feels like people are really starting to put quality over quantity, and I'd say that's that matters a good bit because now it's not about creating something just manifesting something just so you can have it, but it's about people are more interested in moving with a purpose. All right. So with this said, let me start revealing these spreads, and we can take it from there. Okay, so if you chose the spread on the left, you have the Six of Swords for sex, the Queen of Wands for love, and the Seven of Pentacles reversed for money. I'm going to start with love. So the Queen of Wands. This is the feeling that's coming up here is you are what you attract. Not in the fucked up way people like to say it, but more in the sense that you already know it's the energy is very jovial, playful this weekend. So this is kind of like the time to go be yourselves. Be yourself this weekend. Revel in who you are. Let your natural charisma shine through because that's going to take you places this weekend. So do that and let things flow. What what tends to be concerning about the Queen of Wands sometimes is that the energy here can be very controlling, but yeah, no, resist that urge and just let things flow. Remember, it's just playful. Go and get into spaces where you can just be yourself and enjoy it and be joyous. So with that said, I'll move on from love to sex, which is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is we've got this is more of a transitioning energy here. So going into the weekend, I feel like there's going to be a lot of reflection because you've left a more tumultuous time in your life, and you're trying to get into something more fulfilling. So it feels like on the sex front that a lot of people are you're kind of leaving dramatic situations. Like you're just leaving things that really don't serve you and they never really did serve you. Um, if you walked out on a relationship or a connection or whatever because the sex was good but everything else was bullshit. This is that Six of Swords energy. So moving from rougher times into a bit more peaceful, and it's really just if you feel moved to reflect, sit back, take some time to yourself, reflect and restore. That would be wise. And for those who are kind of doubting whatever change, because it still feels like there's definitely some big changes here, some sort of change here that affects that affects your sex life, that affects your creative center. If you're familiar with chakras, there's definitely a lot going on with the sacral chakra here for those who pick this card. For those who pick this set, because I just feel like a lot of this, again, there's a lot of transition, but and change brings up, it stirs up old fears, old doubts, but ultimately just remember that you deserve to be where you wish to be. You deserve the experience you desire. And, don't look back. Don't entertain something. Don't entertain something because you don't feel you deserve better for yourself. Because that's just not true. First step here is you need to realize that you do deserve better for yourself. So embrace that. So for the money, we have the Seven of Pentacles reversed. And it feels like there's there's an imbalance between the desire and the willingness to put forth effort to manifest it. So this is kind of like a self check time. You have to stop and think about the ins and outs of what matters to you. Of the again, like with money, with manifestation, think about the ins and outs of what you're trying to make happen. And most importantly, think about whether or not it resonates with you. Because Seven of Pentacles energy is work and work paying off, but in this reverse position, it feels like folks are worried that the work isn't going to pay off, or they don't want to put in the work, or just a bunch of uncertainty. So take this time to make sure you're in the space you want to be in as it relates to your work, to your effort, to what to what you want to see realized. You know, I mentioned earlier, it feels like people are like ready to quit their jobs, and this energy here, if you feel you're in an unfulfilling space as it relates to your money is not going to fulfill you. So you have to keep that in mind, and you have to make that necessary adjustment, because it's something you're capable of doing. If it's something you want to see created, see manifest in and embrace in your reality, the work, magic ain't free. And if you're in a poor financial situation, you owe it to yourself to get yourself into a space where you can create your money, where you can manifest with ease. not so much with ease, but with greater comfort. So your work should not disturb your soul. If it's doing that, this is your time to start, to sit, just to take a seat for a moment and start to reevaluate. So with that said, onto the middle row. So for sex, we have for the middle row. If you chose the middle row for sex, we have the Ten of Swords. For love, we have the Two of Cups reversed, and for money, we have the Eight of Cups reversed. The love energy for this middle spread is very distracted. It feels like some of you have feelings for another person, or there's something you want, and you want to connect with another person in order to create it, but there's the indecision is very heavy. Remember, as I mentioned earlier, going into the weekend, the love energy is very playful. This this time really lends itself to third party situations and fourth party situations, etc., etc., etc. So if you're trying to, it feels like some of you really, you can't decide whether or not you want to push forward with this love energy, or you just want to fuck around. And unfortunately, you're not going to get much clarity over this weekend in that front. The move here, as it relates to love, to attraction, is to just pull back a little bit and evaluate whether or not your focus matches your passion. And this is something for people who are single, for people who are uh, just looking for something on a self love front. This applies to self love. Does your focus match your desire? Because even when upright, the Two of Cups energy is very easily distracted by whatever else is going on around it. And in this reverse situation, there's really it's even more indecisive. So that's what you need to check in on this weekend. If your focus matches your desire, and if it does, then great, you know what to do. And if it doesn't, then you still know what to do. It's just a matter of facing it and doing it. So for the sex front, we have the Ten of Swords, and what's coming up here is it feels like a lot of people are, if you chose this spread, you kind of, a situation that wasn't really fulfilling you has died out, but it didn't end on your terms, and it's got you feeling some kind of way. That's kind of what I'm getting here with the sex, with the creation energy. Um, it doesn't really matter. I think that's pretty much the reality of it. Because it didn't end the way you wanted it to end. It doesn't matter. It's over, and it needed to be over. because it wasn't fulfilling you and it wasn't going to fulfill you, and it wasn't really meant to fulfill you either. Because again, with it's with sex, with creation, it has to resonate with you. You can get away with sex if it doesn't resonate with you, but it's bad sex, and who wants that? And the same goes for creation, which is the other meaning for the sex portion of this spread. You can create things that don't fulfill you, but why would you do that? So wherever the ending has come, don't treat it as a loss, because it's not a loss. You didn't lose something, you gained your freedom. If you allow yourself, you'll reclaim the power from that situation, and you need that, because everything you're trying to make happen, it comes from your own power. It comes from embracing and recognizing and utilizing your own power. So for the money front, we have the Eight of Cups reversed, and it's a similar energy to the Seven of Pentacles reversed, where it feels like you're not certain about, is this what's right for you financially, or as it relates to manifesting your needs, etc. Um, but in the Eight of Cups reversed, there is a willingness to move on from something, but you don't know if you should. You don't know if you're making a mistake. You don't know if, again, like the uncertainty is really strong here. There's just a lot of I don't know. So there is a willingness to move forward if that's what the situation calls for, but you can't tell if the situation calls for that. This is a good time to just, step back for the weekend and just let things be, because there's some serious energy moving and clearing from this eclipse, and it's clearly got your money, your manifestation center. It's all a bit in turmoil, because you're releasing. Even regardless of whether or not you're releasing things in the physical, you're releasing energy. You're releasing dated energy and spiritual that is it's going to kick some shit up as it leaves you. So don't make any major financial decisions this weekend. Give it time. Let things sort themselves out, and that includes making big purchases, um, extending loans, paying back loans, anything really. Just pull back, and just don't make any major decisions this weekend when it comes to your money, when it comes to what brings you your peace, because things are unclear right now, because they're meant to be unclear. And once everything sorts itself out, you'll be ready to take things on in a new way. So with that said, let's get to the right spread and the last one. So if you pick the spread on the right, we have the Three of Wands reversed for sex, the Six of Wands for love, and the Knight of Swords reversed for money. And again, I'll be starting with the love energy here. So the Six of Wands. I think if you chose this spread, this energy probably goes. This energy goes with the Three of Cups energy, which is casual fellowship, playful, jovial love energy this weekend. Um, I like the Wands energy on the love front because it's you're being active, you're you're being active, you're embracing your passions, your charisma, you're just kind of reveling in who you are. And that's really great energy to carry with you into this weekend. So, if you've been feeling moved to celebrate yourself, or I think some of you have birthdays coming up, if you pick this right spread, there's, embrace that celebratory energy. Even if you don't think you have anything to celebrate, make some shit up and celebrate it. Because that's really going to bring you some needed uplift throughout this weekend. For the sex portion, we have the Three of Wands reversed, and the Three of Wands reversed. There are a lot of you are undecided about about pursuing something that's totally new to you. And again, this goes with sex. This goes with creation. It's something new and unfamiliar, and you don't have the clarity you want. It feels like so you're not moving, and that's not the energy you want. This weekend is a lot of get out and do something energy here. Um, and on the sex front, on the creation front, if you're doubting that you have the range to take this on, don't, because you do if you want. It feels like with the sex energy here, the Three of Wands reverse is. It feels like some of you are giving too much of your power away, and for some of you, reclaiming that power as it relates to sex, as it relates to creation, is that's the new experience you're meant to take on, and that's for some of you. So, but overall, wherever you're feeling this indecision about creating something new, about perhaps trying something new out in bed or whatever, trying something new with a new person or with new people or whatever floats your boat. Um, this is the time you want to make it a point to be as decisive as possible because your energy will take you places. You don't have to be indecisive. You don't have to be unable to decide. You know what you need to do, and that's what resonates within you. Just because what resonates is something unfamiliar, just because it takes you to a different space, a space you're uncomfortable with being in, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And no, just because it's for you doesn't mean it's not supposed to make you nervous because it's something different. So on this front, make sure you're embracing change as it comes for you. So with that said, on to the last card we have for the evening, which is the Knight of Swords reversed. And on the money front, some of you, there's something some of you just don't want to face. And it's right in your face. and you kind of keep turning away from it. It may be bad news. It may be like an unexpected bill or something. It could be trouble at work. It could just be plain stubbornness on your part. Because this Knight of Swords reversed is because swords are thoughts in words, and this Knight of Swords brings a message to you, but it also feels like the message here is going to it's going to kick you it's going to get you in action. And it could be something just as simple as facing your reality, facing the fact that maybe you've committed a lot into something, and now it just doesn't feel right anymore, and it's kind of got you a little fucked up. Um, you have to face the reality of things. You know, if you went to law school for 3 years, 4 years, whatever, and you studied for the bar and you passed the bar, and now you're a lawyer and you're completely miserable. You're being called to make an adjustment. You have to face your reality and make your adjustments. So that's the message coming up here for money, for manifestation. Face your reality. Embrace your reality. Because even if you don't like the knowledge, there's freedom in knowledge. So embrace that. Okay, everyone, that's all I have for you today. As always, just take whatever resonates, and don't worry about the rest. If you find you've chosen something and you know that's your choice and it completely doesn't resonate for you at all and it makes absolutely no sense, that's because there's someone who's close to you who needs to receive this information. You've been chosen to be a messenger. It's always funny when it happens, but it happens. But yeah, that's it. Have a great weekend.